welcome back into the Alabama Football Report presented today by PrizePicks. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. On today's show, something we'll try to do throughout the rest of the offseason. We're going to break down position groups for the Crimson Tide. That begins with the most important of all, the quarterback room, with a battle ongoing, not just for 1 and 2, but maybe even 3 and 4 on that front. Now, if you want more videos like this, put the recruiting aside a little bit, focus in on some of the more, players on the roster now. Show it by sharing today's video. We're always going to do what videos get the most views. That's just basic math. Shares help views get higher. Help us out by sharing today's show, please, and thank you. Let's begin with who's gone. And that's Ty Simpson, the first-round pick who had an incredible first half of the year and then wasn't as good amid a variety of injuries, etc. The Rams ended up taking him in round 1, and the Crimson Tide now once again searching for a new starting quarterback. All eyes here are on the quarterback 1 battle. What we're going to do here is split this into 2 main groups. The battle for quarterback 1, Austin, Mack, Keelon Russell, the freshman additions, and one little bonus one that we'll throw in on today's show as well. Let's begin with what we're all most focused on, and for the proper reasons, of course. Who starts? Is it Keelon Russell? Is it Austin Mack? Let's begin with Russell, who I had to give a slight edge to, I'd guess, Russell, but I don't think this is some secret like, the battle's over. They haven't announced it. I think there is still the ongoing battle. Russell, I think SMU was where he was committed first. Bam was like, nah, this guy's really good. They flip him. He ends up finishing as the number 1 ranked player in the state of Texas, the number 2 overall player, and number 2 QB as a 5-star recruit in the class of 2025. He didn't play much last year. He did play a lot in the spring game as Austin Mack was a bit nicked up. More on Mack here in a little bit. 21 to 33. These are all unofficial stats. 240 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. Did play sparingly in 2025, and sparingly is probably like the nicest way of putting it of like, yeah, you're just not, it was garbage time. That's when he played, which is when you're supposed to play, right? 73.3%, 143 yards, 17 rushing yards, 2 TDs. He is going to be a redshirt freshman this upcoming season, by the way, because he didn't play in enough games to make him lose his redshirt. So you have him, in theory, for at least 2 more years, which maybe is the goal. I think in an ideal world, Russell starts this year and next year, and he's off to the NFL. That means he played really well, and you probably won a bunch of games in the process. But that doesn't mean Austin Mack isn't in the conversation, because he absolutely is. So who starts in week 1? KR for Keelon Russell, AM for Austin Mack. Let me know in the comment section of today's show. Kalen DeBoer had several to say on the quarterback battle. This is what he had said recently. They know that a year ago there was so much improvement by all of them. I think that was even with Ty going from spring to the fall. He came back and made another jump. That's what I would expect out of these guys. As good as they did and a nice job they had performing in the spring, I'd expect for them to take another big leap here in the summer. They're going to work hard. You're never going to question that. They're early morning guys. They're in there early. They're real pros, which is the other guys that have been in here in this program that have done the same thing. And that's all great to hear, to be clear. My gut feeling, and this is kind of what's been hinted at as well by DeBoer and others, around 2 weeks to go before the season is when you can anticipate Bama's announced the starting quarterback. And that'll be public. It might be clear before then, which is like how fall camp is going. But I do think they're being honest when DeBoer and company say, no, we like our quarterback options. I think they're honest when they say that they love the upside of Keelon Russell and they're doing all the right stuff and they like what Austin Mack brings because Mack's been in this, call it the program, if you want to date back to Washington briefly, for a while now. Both these guys have, I think, plenty of talent, plenty of upside, plenty of ability. How that plays out, well, we'll see what happens in the fall. Today's show is made possible by SeatGeek. If you're trying to go to a Bama game this year, use SeatGeek and save 10% off your next set of tickets by using code CHAT10. That could be the week 1 game against ECU. Could be on the road if you live maybe a bit further north. Go to the Kentucky game. Whatever it is, they have you covered. You can get tickets on SeatGeek for any of the games. Not all the times and dates, of course, are announced yet, but they're all available for purchase. It's not just football games either. Concerts, baseball, and the other football. World Cup games are available. Whatever it is, SeatGeek has you covered. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so you know you're getting a good deal. Look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. And of course, there is the code for you guys. Use code CHAT10 for 10% off your next set of tickets at SeatGeek. That's 10% off any tickets with promo code CHAT10. So click the link in the description to download the app, get the code automatically added to your account so you can use it later. If you already have the app, just plug in code CHAT10. You're still eligible for it. Thank you, SeatGeek. Let's go then to Austin Mack, who was by no means a lowly rated, some like, he barely cracked the top 1,000. For some programs out there, I'm thinking about my alma mater, Miami of Ohio, or like if you want to go local, UAB, well, this will be the greatest recruit in history, right? It's different when you're at Bama, though, right? 4-star, he's 215 overall back in the 2023 24/7 Sports Composite rankings. 16th quarterback, also, funnily enough, 16th in the state of California. Mack didn't get as much time in the spring game, was a little bit nicked up, is what was said. It is, some teams will be like, the spring game only counts as much as one practice. I'm like, yeah, it counts a little bit more. I do think him missing some time was a negative. And in the end, Mack was the backup last year. It was not Keelon Russell. When Ty Simpson had to come out when he needed a breather or whatever, Austin Mack was the first one in. He's going to be a redshirt junior this upcoming campaign. He does, by the way, have very good size. He's listed at, 6'6", 235, something crazy along those lines there. Did play a little bit. Does have some of those. He's not a statue in the pocket. Probably, I think, semi-comparable to Ty Simpson, who wasn't a statue, when he was healthy either. Mack has been in the program longer. I feel like the advantage he has is he's more experienced in the end. So who starts at quarterback 1 for Alabama? I'm going to stick with my gut, and I'm going to go with Keelon Russell. That was my initial prediction. I think if you got, Kalen DeBoer and company, you injected them with true serum and they weren't lying to you, you asked, who do you want to win the starting job? I think they would say Keelon Russell because he's got higher upside. There's more mobility. There's bigger dynamic presence at quarterback there as the former 5-star. Is he ready? Can he prove he is better right now than Austin Mack? Yeah, DeBoer and company just signed an extension. That doesn't mean they're going to be like, we're fine. We don't need to have, Mack present. We can, be patient. They do want to win games right now. And if Mack gives them a better chance of doing that, they will start him. But my gut is that Russell ends up winning this job. So grade the Alabama quarterback room in 2026. A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know in the comment section of today's show. Now, there are some newcomers for the Crimson Tide. Jett, Thomalla, and Tayden-Evan Kaawa both coming in as part of the 2026 recruiting class here. Let's begin with the higher ranked of the two. That's Jett, which is what an elite name for a QB, right? 47th overall in the 24/7 Sports Composite rankings. The number 6th ranked quarterback, number 1 out of Nebraska. So no Cornhusker stuff there, so notable there. That's a highly touted recruit. It's not really how it fully works out, but in theory, with Jett Thomalla, when he's a senior, he'd be a top 6 pick a quarterback in the draft, right? That's not really how it works. It ebbs and flows, whatever. But that's they think this guy can be a draft pick. That's in, 47th overall, other guys rise, maybe not top 50 pick, but you think that there's NFL upside here. We'll call him T.E. Kaawa because spacing there, but, for Tayden-Evan Kaawa, not as highly recruited. Out of Utah, 663 overall, number 39 ranked quarterback. I do like the general process of hey, we're going to have 2 quarterbacks in a lot of years. And one highly rated, one lower rated. One is more in line to be the backup. And knowing, of course, you're going to lose players to the transfer portal. Even though Bama's done a good job of not doing that at quarterback so far, it is worth mentioning Bama's got 2 commits currently, including a 5-star in Elijah Haven, for the 2027 class at QB. So when we do this video next year, I don't think it's going to be, hey, the 6 QBs are all back again. I don't foresee that one happening. In fact, in particular, I think it's impossible almost to see Austin Mack and Keelon Russell sticking around as a backup in 2027. Could you have a scenario where Austin Mack just balls out and is a top 15 pick and they go, all right, Keelon, you get the shot. This is your job now because you're not going to start the true freshman. Yes, but if Russell wins the job, I think you're seeing Mack transfer somewhere else, maybe out west, to go be a starter for a different, Cal-esque level Power 4 team. They got a great QB themselves, but still. I think you could also potentially see Jett Thomalla, Tayden-Evan Kaawa, or decommitment at some point also leave the program. You're going to have 4 to 5. I don't know if you're going to have Thomalla and Kaawa and the two currently committed freshmen in the building the entire time. That seems like it's a little bit too much from a numbers game perspective, and that's fine. That's why you recruit too. You're building in redundancies to avoid oops, we lost 2 QBs in the portal, and now we have 1. That's where you don't want to be. I think in general, Kalen DeBoer has done a pretty good job with the quarterback recruiting in particular. Before we move on with today's show, I want to show you my projection of the day from PrizePicks. And this one is a team pick on PrizePicks. I'm looking at the win totals for Alabama. You can do 7+, 6+. Well, you can bet the no on 6+. 12+, you can bet the yes. Wide variety of outcomes there. I am looking at the 9+ win category. I do think Alabama is going to be able to get there. We did our record prediction earlier this year. I had Bama getting to that 9-win figure. I like that one quite a bit. You can follow us on PrizePicks and ride the picks as well with the new social feeds feature. Either way, check out PrizePicks. It's available in most states, including California, Florida, and Texas. With this new user offer for you guys, download the PrizePicks app with the link in the comments and the description. Use code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code HMA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. There is one more note I want to make here. There are a bunch of walk-ons still even in college football, non-scholarship players. I'm not going to worry about them for any of these position impacts there when it's all said and done. One player I do want to give some love to is the newest scholarship player, John Gazinga. I think that is how it is pronounced in the end. Giant human, by the way. He's like 6'7", 252, which is borderline basketball size. Kind of played in 2025. He had a brief appearance. I think it was against Eastern Illinois. A carry and a yard. That was it. Recently got put on scholarship per Bama Online. So congrats, John. There's your QB5 who, outside of deep garbage time, hopefully never plays a snap for Alabama or else something went terribly, terribly wrong. We will have more Alabama football videos for you right here on the channel. So make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit that sub button right now.